right, here we go. We're going to attempt to do this big mamma jamma. Here is Maketoys UTOPIA in city mode. Now, right off the bat, I want to point out that, like, where these guns are right here, this is not the official configuration for where these guns go. They should plug into the back and into the back of these towers. They do support it a little bit. Not enough. They, like if you try to slide it around, they tend to fall out and pop off. Also, like, he's right back on the edge of where I can shoot, and I can't really move the camera further back at this point. So I'm doing my best. But they can, as you can see, they can store as towers in city mode. Normally, city mode would look. Go ahead and pop them off anyway. Would look like that with these sitting back here behind the city itself. So this is the skyline you're going to generally see if you transform him correctly, as shown in the instructions. He's got the little fold-up ramp. As you can see, it does reach all the way down to the ground. This tip right here actually is designed, if you have the add-on kit for Omega Supreme they did, this will connect to that rampway. It'll plug in right there. This piece on mine actually came installed upside down. Thankfully, they don't use the knurled pins, so it was a really super simple issue. Just push that pin out, flip it, push the pin back in, and it fixed. Because when you transform properly, it folds up, and then this little thing plugs in back here to make this slide in properly. And when it doesn't fold up all the way, it does not sit properly, and it was causing some issues. So it's thankfully an easy fix, but it was there. If you have that problem, again, just push this pin out right here, this long pin, and just flip the piece. You're good to go. It does come with a little Holographic Utopia. It's this piece right here, and there's a little tiny piece, this teensy piece on the back that is separate, and it just plugs into his back to replicate these towers folded up on his back. So you get a little mini Utopia. You also get, and I'm not going to attach all this stuff. You also get 6 little replacement cartridges for the clips, which we'll show in a minute. But you get 6 of these. The instruction booklet itself. And then you get 2 sprues. They're duplicate. They're both the exact same on each sprue, but they're little pieces. There's like a forklift up here that can roll them around, a couple little ramps, and just some various greebles like a crane, some laser turrets that you can plug in all these slots around Metroplex or around Utopia, just to give them more of a city feel. Like I've seen some people put some cranes or some energon cubes riding up this little platform. There's all sorts of ways you can do them. I know that since they pop off, you'd have to pop them off for transformation in a lot of cases. Like, I know I'd lose them, so until I find a decent display way to display them, I hadn't planned on pulling them off the sprues. But they are there, and you can use those to kind of accentuate the city mode if you so choose. He is big. Comparison to like an actual toy, there he is with the Beast Machines motorcycle drone. Just to give you a big idea, that's what I had with me in my bag. And believe me, I brought plenty of stuff to compare with when we get to robot mode, which is why I don't have some smaller stuff to compare here in city mode. Here he is this is the Scamper from the original Generations Metroplex. And you can see, like, he doesn't look bad with him. He's not quite as tiny in scale to Metroplex here with the Utopia. But you can go up the ramp. He can't quite fit in here. He gets a little wide at the rear. But you can display him around. The manacle from the Iron Factory set does actually fit up in here. Obviously, you can't close it up with him in there, but you can have him going up the ramp. You can pose him doing little things. Here's the Iron Factory turrets. They're 6-gun. And I think he looks pretty cool displayed patrolling Metroplex. Because, I mean, that's made for the Generations, but I just don't feel like 6-gun was supposed to be that small in comparison to Metroplex. Maybe he was, but just the original Scamper, the original 6-gun was a little bigger in comparison to the others. But so there's what the Iron Factory set looks like with Utopia. So yeah, the feet open up down here. These ramps generally, that you can see there's some little clips here, generally clip in like this for the spaceship mode. And some of the pictures show them just left like this in city mode, the instructions. But if you just unclip, you just lift them up to unclip them, move those out. You can put those ramps down. The feet open up here to give you more space to store stuff or whatever, I guess. I guess you could put a few. You could probably store some energon cubes in there. All those extra little pieces could store in his feet if you wanted. Yeah, he's got a little rotating radar dish. This is also one of the clear red pieces that you have to put in. He's got a little radar dish up here. He's got this flip open missile pod over here. This helicopter ramp pops up. It's like spring loaded and pops up, and we'll show that off in a bit. He's got a little opening canopy right here on his arm that people can dock in. Flying guys can come into. The treads are on the pistons here. This, like I said, this ramp does fold up. So yeah, if you've got some, like, especially world's smallest transformers, I've seen some pictures look really good with this guy. There is also on the back here, I'm going to show you the back, there's a little docking bay for, I guess, flyers back here next to his head. Now you kind of have to twist his head to get it out, because otherwise it hits his thing and his head can't fold up with this piece back like this. But there's a little ramp back here that slides out, and you can just close it back up. You can kind of see his fists in the rear of city mode, but that's just how it's built. So yeah, also this little gun turret up here lifts up and down, and also, you know, just like on the old toy, flips over. You can hide if you so choose. So yeah, now we're going to attempt to turn him into spaceship mode and then onto robot mode. And I've got this down, like I know where everything goes. I have not yet attempted it on camera. So if I go out of frame, I will do my best not to, but just bear with me. This guy's much larger than we are used to seeing. It's harder to do these larger guys, so we'll see what we can do here. So yeah, and some things have to be done in the right order. So like I said, this thing, you flip this up, and when you fold it all the way up, this piece stays exposed. These two tabs are going to plug into these two tabs up here on the ramp. Again, I don't know how clear that is. And you slide that up, close that up. Easy enough. Where do I want to go next? The legs, okay, let's go ahead and fold these side pieces down. Close up the feet. Bring these panels, make sure they lock into place. Bring these panels up, lift them up. Like I said, there's little hooks under here. You'll know when you see it. Lift these up, lock them into place. These stay extended. Come on. Here we go. Let me turn it this way. You're not lined up properly. There we go. There's one side. Oh, there we go. That was one pulled down properly. So there's lock the feet up. Close that up. Now to push this helicopter ramp up, you kind of want to lift it up. You have to push down on the platform here in the middle to get it to unlock. So push that down, fold this up, fold it all the way down. These support pieces fold up, and there's a little spring-loaded piece right here. You kind of that unlocks it. You need to pull that back to fold it down, to lock it in place. Let that lock, and then that locks into place. Since the head's already tilted back, we don't need to worry about that. So now it's just a matter of positioning the legs and such. So we'll go ahead and take the upper part of this body here, push it back along with his arm. Just slide this whole thing back like that. We're going to need to, can we rotate it like this? I don't think so. Okay. So, the legs, again, tank treads are going to be a pain in the butt. Yeah. Oh, here, we'll just go this way with it. Straighten out the legs. Rotate them back this way. See, I need to rotate this whole piece around. Okay, I'm going to have to do that. I was hoping I wouldn't have to rearrange the head here, but we're going to have to. So I've got to push these forward. Now, see, the head piece back here that rotates back is on rails. There's rails on this, and the slots are in the body and in the head. So you've got to slide this forward, lift this head up, in which case, after which, and then we got to slide these back again, because now they're in the rails up here. It's hard to explain and then lift these up so we've got the clearance. But it'll make sense. And now we can bring those around like this. And come on. You out of the way here. There we go. Now we got the clearance there to get those tank treads around. Bring these around the front like this. Make sure these. Alright, so. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, we did that. And then we gotta bring around like this. Also, you gotta rotate this here at the waist. Rotate the whole upper body around. There we go. Okay. So straighten up the thighs. Put them back in position. Straighten up the thigh. Rotate this around. And then these long pieces are just going to clip together. They peg together like that. And then this piece comes up. Oh, we haven't pulled them all the way forward. Snap that all the way forward. Snap the piston together back here on the tread. And when you got it all lined up right, there's a little tread piece back here that sits out back. All the treads will sit flat on the ground. And you get an idea of how that's supposed to be. So now it's just rearranging the upper body. First, since we push these forward to get the head out of the way, push these down, slide them forward, back into. See, there's a groove right here, and there's a groove right here on the headpiece that these rails on the inside of this fits into. So it's weird to get them all positioned around in alt mode. But once you know what you're doing, it makes sense. It's just the first couple times you're like, why isn't this going down? And it's because of that rail. So we'll flip this back to the back now. Put his head up. Nope. Heads up. And then you take these and slide these back. They stay open like that. In spaceship mode, there's a couple little flaps here on the conning tower we can flip open. These come down. We're going to plug these in a minute. But these come back out to the side. This is actually reverse of where it needs to be with the arm here. You want to bring this up, straighten the arm up, and the arm, it rotates here like this. You want to do that. And then it also has 3 positions, back, forward, and middle. Middle where it is for robot mode, back's for city mode. So push this whole dark gray assembly all the way up, and that gives it the clearance to fold around. And these 2 pegs right here will go into a couple of tabs here on the arm itself. Just bring it forward, peg it in. And once you've got that done, this tab right here is going to peg right into the front gray piece of that. These sit like this. You can go ahead and extend what are going to be the jet engines back here, or rocket thrusters, whatever you think of it. So these sit like this. And we're going to do the same thing to this arm over here. We want to take this from city mode and slide it back up onto the upper arm. Bring it around like this. Point the gun forward. Close that. Push this down to the lower level. We'll rotate it wrong. Rotate this all the way around so the hinge goes the right way. And then fold it around. Tab it in. Like that. And then plug this in right here. And then these plug on as, like, you can plug these in facing forward. Actually, you have to put them upside down if you want. Again, the instructions show them facing backwards as larger thrusters for the colony ship. So you put those on upside down like that. And there is his massively long spaceship colonization ship mode, which is really pretty cool. Again, you can flip out this gun up here if you want. Radar dish still functions. You can flip these guns forward. Again, you can flip these around if you wish. He's got these cool runways here. Landing strips. So he's got like a giant flying aircraft carrier, and smaller spacecraft can take off and land on them. I meant to get Armada Tidal Waves Minicon because I felt he'd look cool riding on that, and I meant to grab and I forgot. Oh well. So yeah, but there is colonization ship mode. I really like this. It seems so basic, just his legs sticking forward, but for some reason I really love this giant carrier ship mode. He does have the tank treads, I guess, if you want to, like, maybe that's how he moves once he lands, I don't know. But the instructions are, from what I understand, intended this to be a colonization ship. So, like, I'm still not sure what these treads do outside of just being annoying when you're transforming it from mode to mode. But they are there. Maybe it's like a Jawa sandcrawler type thing once he lands. All right, so on to the big guy, Utopia himself. We'll go ahead and pop these off again. And it's a pretty basic transformation at this point. So flip, unpeg this, pull this down, just fold this up against the leg. And there should be oh wait, fold it up. There's a peg hole there. So fold these up. You see there's a peg hole right here. or actually right here by the screw hole. Peg that into that, fold this down, take these kneecaps, lift them up, make sure they come fully extended so you've got room to flip these up in. That's done. Unhook these from here and fold these panels up. And then these pieces right here slide up into the leg. Yeah, there we go. The tabs form a little bit. You got to kind of pull these out just a little bit to give them the clearance, but they slide up into the leg. The feet come up, and then these panels on each side unplug and just flip up onto the leg. Foot comes up, panel, done there. And then you pretty much just stand them up here, moving down to the hips. Actually, you can't bring the hips up yet until you bring these body parts up. So let's flatten them back down. So pull this back, slide these, okay. Slide these forward. The upper parts of the body here, slide these forward. Get those out of the way. Flip his head back up, close these panels first. Flip his head back up, and then pull his head up here at the neck. Just like that. Oh, we pushed his visor down, whatever. We'll show that off in a minute. All right, so now that's done. Now that these have been raised up, you've got the clearance to fold his hips back up. His hips will catch otherwise. Oh wait, no, we haven't pulled them back up yet. Ah, okay. Told you. I know what I'm doing. It's just a matter of getting them in the right order. So slide these up, then slide the rails back into the groove next to the head. And once that's done, now you've got the clearance to fold his legs up. I'm standing on his feet. Where are we getting him in frame? Oh, yay! Look, his head's still kind of in frame there. We're not entirely out of picture there. All right, so bring these down. The towers. Okay, come down here. First off, unhook this piston system and fold that up. It depends on which tower you want up. You can fold these down to slide these up in there. The instructions show this one up, so I usually fold this one down. It sits there between the treads. I like to push these up just a little bit to have just a little bit of something peeking up over the tower, just so it looks like something more than a square on his back. You can't have, because of the way they flip in, you can't have both of them down unless you want them sticking straight back. So there's that. Then here on the arm, you take this gray piece, slide it down, and then slide this whole piece up, and then this gray piece closes up underneath the arm. He's got fully posable hands, which is cool. Popped his thumb off because, of course, I did. Fully posable fingers on each finger has three joints if you count the ball. The thumb has 2. So there's one hand down. Do the same on this side. Bring the arm down. Slide this panel down. Slide this whole assembly back. Close that panel. Rotate his hand up. You can leave this gun up or close it however you wish. And there's Utopia in robot mode. These guns, you can store them. They can attach here onto his arms where they have been the whole time. You can store them like that. You can store them, you can have them plugged in facing forward, or you may have to rearrange his elbows to get the clearance to do that. But you can do that. They can plug in where they would in city mode, which is into the back of these. You can store them on his back if you want. And of course, you can open the handle with the tabs and plug it into his hand and have him hold them like rifles. One of the things that I have not shown off yet on the gun, I mentioned the clip earlier with the Energon cubes. He's got a little cockpit that opens here. I don't know what goes in there. I guess you can put the little Utopia hologram in there if you wished. On each side of the gun, or on the side of the gun, you can open this up. And inside there is a little clip of ammo that has the Energon cubes in it. And each one of these, just like the ones that we saw, let me see if I can get one out of here. I don't have the fingernails to do it. But each one of those is removable. You can push them up through here. But you can pull all those out to make it look like a depleted rifle core. His head has a visor. You can have him with the normal face or the visor down. I don't know how well that's showing up on the camera. But, well, I'll do at the end, I'll pick it up and I'll do a close-up on the face. But yeah, for right now, we're going to leave him back here for a minute because we're going to do a size comparison. And now you're going to see why getting into work tonight was so much fun. So first off, here he is with the 6 gun, which we showed off earlier. Let me go ahead and put his other gun in his hand here. All right, so here he is. One of the most requested guys people wanted to see him with when I first got him was Genesis. Because there's a rumor going around that like this guy's designed by the same guy who did Genesis. If that's the case, cool. So here he is with Genesis, and hopefully Genesis won't flop over on me. There we go. So there you go. There, can you see them both in there? Yeah, there you go. There he is with Planet X's Genesis / Omega Supreme, and he's much larger. I mean, like these pieces make him look a little bit more in size, but like Genesis's head comes to about right here on Utopia, straight across. So there he is with Genesis. This one might take a little bit more doing. Let's move him forward a little bit. Is he still in frame? Alrighty, he is with Fort Max, G1 Fort Max, who is much larger. See if I can get a straight-on shot here. Yeah, there he is with G1 Fort Max. And of course, if we're going to be talking about Metroplex, here he is with the Generations Metroplex, which again is, you know, much larger than so. Yeah, all in all, I'm really happy with it. I know that there have been some complaints about the screw holes. You may have gone through this whole video without noticing them. So they mirrored parts to save costs, which makes sense to some degree. And so basically, this piece has the screws are visible on this leg and not on this leg, but they have molded like fake screws in there, so it kind of looks like the symmetry's there. It's just on one side you can physically see the screws, and the other side is a plastic cover. And it's the same on all of these arm pieces. They're mirrored. You can see the screws up here, but not over here. And I guess that's an issue for some. It really doesn't bother. Oh, I need to put these back in the middle position. It doesn't bother me that much because, like I said, they've done a lot. Like I said, like molding the fake screws over here, and even I think on some of these pieces. Okay, maybe not on those pieces, but they've done a lot to minimize the visual impact of that, and it just doesn't. It took me forever to notice it. I didn't notice it for several hours when I first got him, but yeah, it is what it is. But just so you know, it is there. But I think he's a nice, chunky looking. He's just got the right proportions, and it doesn't take as long to transform him when you're not trying to keep it on camera and do it from at arm's length like I'm doing here. It does take a little bit, but like I think TJ said, it plays like a big Voyager, and it really does. There's a lot of neat stuff going on. He's nice, he's solid, he's sturdy, he's quite heavy. I think he weighs more than both Fort Max, not combined, but Fort Max and Generations Metroplex. Definitely more than Generations Metroplex. Maybe Fort Max might have a little few ounces on him. But he's nice and solid. I'm going to come up real quick and do show you the face mask here, just before we go. So here's his face. It's just got a standard, you know, he's got the black around the eyes. He's got some red pipe eyes, and this piece up here, if you push down on it, gives him a red visor. That's all there is to it. And then you just get your thumbnail in there and lift that piece up, and his visor's up. When you fold his head down for battle station mode, don't do it until you have these slid back, because it will hit on this and you'll explode the face. You can see it kind of hitting the ridges there. Also, when you transform his head to battle station mode or to other modes, make sure you have that visor up. It will tend to push it up by itself, but you don't want to risk breaking it if you try to fold it down with that visor down. Like I said, every time I've forgotten to do it, the visor has pushed itself back up as it hits the face, but just as a precautionary tale, be careful. But yeah, so there is Maketoys Utopia. It is out now. It is quite boss, if I may say so. It's a really cool set. It's a really cool figure. And there you go.